it's more about just creating that healthy environment so that they have the ability to learn how to be sisters, be really great friends, and also talk about those things that are only girl things that don't come up in co-ed environments. Yeah, I think the primary thing that's most unique, well, first of all, our groups are super small. So girls are getting all kinds of one-on-one attention. The leaders of our program are professionals. So I'm a professional life coach and health expert, but we bring in people that are doing things for, as their full-time career. So we don't have camp counselors so much as we have like estheticians and chefs and actors and ropes course, people who are really, that's their full-time gig. And I think the other thing that's really important is we approached Radiant Girls. It sort of was born out of this concept that young girls really need skills. They really need to learn how to build confidence, how to build healthy relationships, how to have a self-worth and body image. And there wasn't a whole lot out there for that. In a regular camp setting, girls are mixed with boys. They might get into team building activities or, have some fun, but their issues aren't addressed, and the environment for talking about those things isn't really being fostered. Not until you're, in your late teens, or maybe as an adult, you hang out with your girlfriends and talk about these big things. Or you have, one or two really close friendships if you're lucky, in middle school or high school. So we thought to teach those things, but we use camp as the background or as the fun, rather than it being camp first and then teaching lessons. We're teaching lessons and trying to find ways to teach it so that kids are, having a blast. So that's what makes us different or special. That's a tough question, because what defines success? I think each kid comes with their own set of challenges, their own struggles. Girls are coming. Our first thing is to create an environment where they really feel safe. That's our primary focus, especially on day one of any program that we run. And when we are successful at that, the environment for girls to connect and really open up and share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and then to have experts that can support them, proper coaching, proper guidance, to be able to learn how to break through some of those things is really, most of the time I'm hearing from moms or from kids several years later that are saying like that, the picking one activity and saying that shifted my thinking, or that really like changed the way that I see the world. That's what we're aiming for. And, if it in success, is it a micro moment, or is it like a macro moment? I think they're all important in their own way. It's definitely structured. Each week that we offer has slightly different values or life skills that we focus on. And like I mentioned, the first day is really about creating rapport, creating that safe environment. And then each day that follows, we have a set of ideas that we're trying to weave into each of the fun activities. So we might have a day that's all about self-worth, or we may have a day that's about building confidence and overcoming anxiety, or we'll have a day that's about building healthy relationships. Some days we have an entire day on beauty and social media and body image and concepts that, are related to that. And so it's very structured in that we have fitness activities, self-care activities, art. We usually have a bit of cooking or DIY activities during the day. And then we have group discussions, and they may not see it as structured, but we certainly have our master plan and refine it every year. We've been running for about 10 years. So we kind of have it down pat at this point that, what happens when and how it unfolds. So on day one, we create something called Girl Code. And Girl Code is a set of rules that they make up to ensure that they're going to have an awesome week. And so every week, they decide that there needs to be inclusion, there needs to be fun, there needs to be, and they come up with these list of things. And so anytime something unfolds where I look at a behavioral issue as a cry for help, that is where something is, the behavior issue is coming up because their needs are not being met. And so from our perspective, the counselor's perspective, we are trying to figure out what does that child need? And it's a teaching moment because we're trying to build healthy friendships. We're trying to teach girls that it's safe to express yourself, to be able to say, I'm sorry, or to be able to apologize when you stepped out of line. So that's what makes the week actually meaningful, is we take those moments and we feed off of them, and everybody learns when we have those moments. So it's I love it when that happens. There's always something, and we get to see what the child needs, and whether they get that during camp or whether they get it after camp. We keep track of these things. We monitor, how they show up in team activities, how they show up during challenges, how they build friendships, what is their, self-talk or the dialogue that shows up when we give them something difficult or out of their comfort zone. And we keep track of that. So at the end of the week, we can hop on a coaching call with a mom and say, here's what we noticed. Here's how we move that needle forward a little bit. And here's what I would suggest in order to continue to support that kind of development. So I think, again, that's a quite a unique aspect of our camp. And it's really, that's not something that you're going to get from a teacher from school. And kids show up differently in group environments than they would at home. So sometimes the parents are really sometimes surprised. They're like, what? My kid is loud and obnoxious, or, my kid is quiet and reserved and doesn't, or whatever. And I go, yeah, this is how they're showing up. So here's how we can support you and her in being a more healthy, well-rounded kid moving forward. We talk a lot about girl drama, the friendships that come and go, how they may be hurt by situations. Sometimes we talk about the pressures of school and boys and parents, and so if they're an athlete, some of the competitions they've got. There tends to be an unhealthy pattern that girls run into of really competing and being disrespectful to one another. So that we talk about how to manage that. And of course, there's the body image stuff. But if I had to pick one thing that is most meaningful, I won't give it away because it's always a surprise at the end of the week, but we always put them into a really unique opportunity to challenge themselves. And I think they all walk away with a new sense of confidence. So that's the sort of the icing on the cake. The two things that I hope that they walk away from is feeling like they are in control of their emotions, their thought process, their reality. And second, that they have a new sense of confidence. They really know who they are and what they're capable of. And that's the main focus for I would hope that they walk away from. If you're thinking about it, sign up, because our groups are small. We fill it fast. And if they're not sure, they can always reach out to us and we can let them know which week or what's best for their child, because every kid's different and what they need is different. So that's why we offer so many different programs. And if they're already signed up and they're preparing, I would say prepare for the most meaningful week of your summer, perhaps the most meaningful week of your childhood, because we do things that most camps can't do. Because of our group being small and run by a bunch of professionals, we push the limits. We do things that most camps would never be able to do in the numbers. So be prepared. It's going to blow you away.